And welcome back, Source Nation. Welcome back. You're listening live right here on Love Zone Mondays. You guys know what time it is. That's right. Dr. Young is here in the studio with me. I've been excited all day to be speaking with him. It seems like it's been forever, but he is back giving us some great and amazing information. So tonight's topic is all about, do men actually want a virtuous woman? So, Source Nation, check this out. What does it mean to be a virtuous woman? Do men actually want this type of woman in their lives? You know, really, in my opinion, men are very careful, Source Nation, about choosing their wives. Now, sure, they'll date, they'll go out with many different types of women. They'll shower them with gifts, show them off to their friends, et cetera, et cetera. But they actually long for women that present the qualities of virtue. So we're going to break that down and get the true understanding of what it is to be a virtuous woman, and do men actually seek out this particular woman. So Dr. Young is going to come into the studio and give us that great information. I do believe that he is there. Dr. Young, hello and welcome to Love Zone Monday.
What's going on, Kathy? How are you tonight?
I am wonderful, wonderful. Glad to have you back in the studio with me for years.
Yeah, it's been a year since I've talked to you. I guess that's the oldest corny New Year's joke that everybody can come up with, but 2017 is definitely going to be a year of change. If you're listening to this program this evening, I believe that you're probably going to be very shocked by a lot of what I have to say, so you don't want to miss one moment.
Oh, wow. I love it. I'm ready for the ride. Well, you know, Dr. Young, tonight's conversation is all about, do men actually want a virtuous woman? You know, over the holiday break, we've had a lot of our radio family to send in various topics, and this one, surprisingly, came across quite often. I mean, I'm like, wow, many people really want to know about this. So we definitely have to pose this question to Dr. Young and get his info on it. So let's jump right into our conversation. Again, do men actually want a virtuous woman? What are your thoughts about that, Dr. Young?
Well, the first thing that I want to say is let's define virtuous. There's a misgiving that between being pious and being virtuous. And piety, or the appearance of looking whole, versus being something that a man would actually desire. Now, what does that mean? It's real simple. How can you get into a relationship? How can you really get a man that is worth your time? How can you get the clock moving in the right direction and you don't have anything to offer nobody but cups, like hands always asking for something? You know, there's this old myth that a lot of women have that, well, you know, girl, don't give it up on the first date. Well, I'm going to tell you like this. I don't care when you give it up. Men are much more concerned, this is going to blow a lot of people's minds, about what you do after you give it up than how fast you give it up or when. But the thing that is going to resonate and move the ball downfield more than anything else is going to be, can I really count on you? Can I respect you? Can I look at the way you grind and see that complementing my flow? Do you have your head on straight? Can you be trusted? Do you have a sense of balance in your life? Are you the type of person that when I spend quality time with you, is it something that has a sustaining contribution to my life rather than we just doing something? You know, and as we look deeper at just engaging with a woman, because I think one of the things that ticks me off more than anything else is when I'm touring or I have someone contact me and they say, well, Doc, you know, I'm looking for a husband. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, baby girl. What have you done to get you together? You know, you're so focused on if I put up a certain presentation, I maintain a certain facade, then that's going to open the door for me. When the truth is, there's absolutely not a doggone thing that you can do that's going to make a man stay with you, because being honest with you, poutine and peanuts are both highly overrated. And at the end of the day, what women perceive, and this is especially women that come from religious families, and from the South in particular, Atlanta, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and places like that, there is this association with sex and church. And these two things really don't have anything to do with each other, because divinity has nothing to do with religion, number one, and sex has nothing to do with virtue, because either of those things can easily be perverted.
Good information. I like that. So let's go on. I had a chance, Dr. Young, because as I stated, we've had family members send this particular topic in over the holidays, and I've seen it quite often. And I found an article that would somewhat speak to our needs. Hopefully, I'm hoping that it's going to speak to our needs. Let me just read a little bit of what I took away from this article, and I want to break it down because you said something there that I find very interesting, how it correlates. One or the other correlates to being virtuous or not. But in this particular article, it stated that, when it comes to purely sexual attraction, guys prefer hot and sexy women with a certain type of raunchiness to them, just as if girls were turned on by bad boys. But when it comes to a potential wife material, most men agree on preferring women who are just as beautiful on the outside as she is on the inside. This is what they consider this particular woman to be wife material. So talk to us a little bit about that. Is that actually true?
Let me say this to you, and please, ladies, take a good note on this. I'm saving y'all a lot of hassle and a lot of not dealing with some crazy man. There are lots of people that feel that if I just jump high enough, if I just kiss his butt enough, if I just lose enough weight, if I just have a big enough booty, all of that, none of those things is going to get you a man and keep him, because at the end of the day, sex and the poontang gets old. That's something that is not going to sustain you. America, I have done every major city in this country on tour, from New York to L.A., from D.C. to Atlanta, you name it, I've done it on some type of tour having to do with relationships. When I haven't done that, I've done the television and media, and here's what I'm going to lay out there for you. There is no cookie-cutter solution to what is going to make anybody pay attention to you. If anything, what this is going to do is position you to get pimped. There are men out there that will say, oh, you know what, I'm doing the celibate thing. His masturbating ass ain't celibate. And then on top of that, he's got that booty call chick, and that girl that he can call at whatever time of the day or night. And here's another misgiving. People aren't all messing around at night. There are a lot of people that have sex everywhere from the office to the damn cemetery. I mean, if you all are having sex in the cemetery, something wrong with you. But the point I'm making is, there is no cookie cutter here. And what's really here, more than anything else, is reality check. Are you really so stupid that you actually believe that if you just do X, you will get Y and Z? That's not how real life works. And moreover, what men are looking for, well, real men, I'll say this, those guys that some of you meet on eHarmony or farmers.com or whatever the hell you searching on this week, what they're responding to is a commercial you wrote about yourself, and you've given somebody a roadmap to play you. You've opened up the door where now somebody can say, you know what, if I just say this, if I just do that. Unfortunately, some of you are actually smart enough to know that. And you figure you're going to change this guy. You figure because, well, girl, I met him at church. Sisters, let me tell you something. And men that are listening to this show right now, if you went to church to hook up with somebody, you went for the wrong damn reason. That ain't why you go to church. So chances are you're going to get played at church more than you going to meet your mate at church. None of these things, and I do mean absolutely none of these things, is indicative to laying out the groundwork for you to find real love. The only place that you're going to connect in any meaningful way to anybody that's worth your time is if you take a back seat to gimmickry and pretense and start coming as men being who you really are. You know, the good girl, and I'm going to say this, in my practice, over the last decade, I know I have seen thousands of people in large audiences and one-on-one and what have you. Most of the women that bought into the, I'm going to wait, I'm saving myself, I'm dating with a purpose. Let me tell you something, girlfriend. Your brainwashed ass is not going to get anything more than that chick that's out at the club. As a matter of fact, being honest with you, and please don't start taking y'all's behinds to the club being ratchet. But what I'm saying is the person that is authentically themselves, the person that is not desperate and trying to manipulate someone into a relationship, the woman that has enough sense to know that, you know, if you really feel this guy, you really trust him, something's telling you that this is a good dude, you might be right. Give the brother a chance. Mm-hmm. But here's what I want to really point out to you. What if just your role playing is only putting you in a position to get your feelings hurt? What if through all of that, you end up being that woman in my office that says, well, we didn't sleep together till we got married. Well, then you found out that he's a freak and you're not, or you're a freak and he's not, or you figured that, well, you know, I did all of this righteous behavior. Yeah, but y'all never talked about money. Mm-hmm. You never talked about career. You never talked about children. You never saw how you or he acted when you got mad. You know, there are people that love you long as you ain't got nothing. I mean, long as you broke, they are in your corner. You get a little piece of change. Long as you weren't going back to school to get that graduate degree, everything was cool. But part of your life plan was I wanted to better my condition. And see, these are the things that create fractures. And these are the things that create the disconnects in life, because what you bought into is this fantasy that if I just jump high enough, if I just bend over low enough, all my panties going to be white and cover my navel and come up on my hips, and I'm going to put a crucifix right on the backside of my drawers. The Lord going to bless me. No, it ain't. That's not how life works. And if you continue down that path, don't get mad when you end up being all by your damn self.
Mm-hmm. I like that. And the part that I picked up on, all great information, but going back to the person being true and authentic, I think that truly works. I know you and I have often talked about that in developing relationships, especially when we're striving for success and longevity, is that we have to be very true to ourselves. I also believe, Dr. Young, you need to work on yourself. This is something that you shared with us, too. How in the world are you supposed to have someone in your life if you are a total, complete mess? You know, and that's what I truly believe. You know, someone posed this question to me earlier today, and they said, okay, Kathy, in your mind, what is your thought of a virtuous woman? And that was one of the things that I said was she has to be true to herself first. She can't offer anything. And I put myself in that place. I said, I can't offer a man anything if I don't understand who I am, because if I'm entering into his life, what am I bringing to the table? What am I bringing to the table that is going to be an enhancement, as well as what is he going to bring into my life, you know? And then we work together. If you look at it from a biblical sense, then what you want is the woman who has the love of God. She has God within her. And they agreed with me, but that is all within my opinion. So let's take it from the biblical stance, Dr. Young, if we can, and get your understanding of it from a biblical standpoint. What are your thoughts?
Well, some people are going to write you letters because they know if they write me, I'm going to hurt your feelings. But the truth is, what is biblical? Because that's a different thing to everybody. What Bible are you reading? Because there are a lot of people that are hearing what the pastor said and believing the hype. There are a lot of folks out here that have taken something that was meant to be a guideline and turned it into dogma. So I will be the first to tell any woman that let's get this thing right. Let's actually get our perception of quote-unquote biblical right. One of the things that troubles me most is people that hide behind the Bible when they don't understand that Constantine rewrote it, butchered it, King James butchered it. And let me throw something out here that's going to blow everybody's mind. Jesus wasn't a Christian. Buddha wasn't Buddhist. Muhammad was not a Muslim. So all of these spiritual teachers taught from a premise of love. They did not practice what you all consider to be organized religion, which I think is dangerous, by the way. There's got to be a better way, and I think the better path, when I tell people choose the better portion, I really advocate that you back away from the religious dogma of the day, because typically that's a bunch of fake-ass people sitting around trying to look good before one another. Has nothing at all to do with a real relationship with a divine figure, with God, with connecting with the greater portion of oneself. And it has everything to do with, let me validate myself by, again, looking benevolent, having this attitude that I am so holy child, I haven't slept with nobody. No, but you masturbating every damn day. You go through more rabbits, and then they have it at a pet store. Now, I'm not talking about the kind of rabbit with fur on his ears either. There's some things that I think we need to move away from the religious thing and sex and start becoming more realistic, because let's just be honest. Everybody I know, I don't know about who you know, but everybody I know, most of these people are having sex as much as they can have it. A lot of these people are the ones that are saying they're celibate. You celibate because your ass has herpes, or you're celibate because the last relationship you were in, you just now got off probation. That's why you celibate. Or you're celibate because you so damn obese. Who the hell wants to see that naked? I don't. So, yeah, it's easy for you to be celibate, but there's another way. There is a better way, and I think that better way is just through being one with who you really are. Stop and define, why am I not having sex? I ask people in the last few days ask me, well, Doc, what I do? I'm highly sexual. I'm like, yeah, but you don't have your shit together. You don't need to be getting in the bed with nobody when the first person you sleep with now, your dumb ass thinks you're in love. You're not in love, you're in lust. You're infatuated. But you ain't had none in so long that you sitting up in church and somebody passed you the communion and you think, oh, man, we had dinner together. No, you didn't. They just passed you that little cup of grape juice. Somebody passed a piece of that cracker. That ain't a relationship. We have to get to a point where our expectation is, first, let me become everything that I'm looking for in somebody else. And I do mean everything. Stop thinking, well, baby, can we go shopping? You ain't got no damn credit card. Hell no, you can't go shopping. Stop thinking that just because you got the right curves, you got a little waist and a big butt, your ass been broke the last 20 years, now you finally making six figures and people think you look okay. They just looking at your butt. They don't even know you. How does somebody like you that don't know you? They haven't seen how you act when you have one of your less than moments. And see, these are the things that we have to start steering people away from. We can no longer afford to continue to be so sidetracked and be so marginalized. And like what you said with this show, you figure, I want to be this chosen vessel. Well, let me tell you something. What's inside you? You're a vessel. What the hell are you filled with? Are you filled with desperation? Are you filled with delusion? Are you filled with hopelessness? Are you filled with loneliness? If we're going to look at this thing right, ladies, get you together. If you're sitting up late off, you're not working, and you waiting on the company to call you back, while you sitting on your ass, you could have been in school getting another certification. You don't have to go get a college degree, but you could have gotten another certification. And I'm saying this to women. You could have been certified as an A&P, an aircraft mechanic. You could have been certified in culinary arts. You could have been certified as a surge tech. You don't have to wait on the world to make your life better is what I'm saying. in America, in the West, if you be honest about it, what's the first toy you see when you go in a grocery store for a girl? A little miniature shopping cart. What do you see when you go and look at the toy store? A playhouse where there's a baby doll, playing like a wedding. And what kills me about this, especially in the African-American community, we want to have all of these rules talking about sex and you need to be celibate. Well, shit, you also need to not be a single mom either, but I ain't heard nobody mention that. And 78% of black children are born out of wedlock. So where's your religion now? You know what I'm saying? So become more realistic about having a perspective and a view of self. And I'm talking to you ladies. I don't care whether you are Indian or you're black or you're white or Middle Eastern. It doesn't matter. Let's just stop and think, you know what? Am I happy? Am I even happy with me right now? Screw a dude. Some of you guys are so fixated on a damn relationship, you can't even think straight half the time. But are you happy? Are you manifesting your reason for being on this planet? Because I'm going to tell you something, girlfriend. Until you start becoming one with self, until you start manifesting and being the person, the woman that you are created to be, you're going to be running around here as confused as Caitlyn Jenner. Y'all will catch that in a minute. He's the one that's not the sister. Never mind. But I got to say this, Kathy. I ain't trying to get off the subject, but why the hell did he pick the name Caitlyn? Because I was looking at that, and I was thinking, like, Caitlyn, you're supposed to be fine and pretty. I heard a comedian say this yesterday. Caitlyn, no, Bruce should have named himself Agnes or Mildred or some shit. He don't look like a Caitlyn. Never mind. Okay, I'm getting off subject. But the point I'm really making, though, is that you want to find love without being lovable. You want to be connected to someone else when you're not even in touch with yourself. You want to have intimacy and true oneness with another person, but you're not even one with yourself, and you're not even in touch with you, but you want to be intimate with somebody else. And you think that if you just keep your panties up long enough, if you just talk the talk of religion and find you some more misery loves company, dysfunctional ass folk, while y'all sit there and validate each other, the truth be told, all of you are getting further and further and further away from the truth. And when you get so far out there, what you going to do now?
Look for a way to try to get back. That's exactly what they're doing. I tell you, that is good information, Dr. Young. Tonight's conversation is all about, do men really want a virtuous woman? To speak upon what Dr. Young is saying is that, and I'm going to speak to the women first, it is so very important for us to really understand who we are as women. And I'm going to speak to the women that are divorced, because I'm a divorced woman. And when I tell you, as soon as I decided that I thought I was ready to date, and I got out there, tried to date, I had so many issues that I had to fix. And I had to realize that. And I said, okay, I'm not ready. And when I said that I'm not ready, I wasn't ready because I didn't take the necessary steps to heal myself from that marriage. I didn't take the necessary steps to love myself. And that is one thing, women, that we have to do. We have to begin to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, okay, what are the ugly things about me that I can fix? We're not talking about putting a Band-Aid over it, because you can't put a Band-Aid over a huge wound. You can't do that. You have to literally work on it and own it. Take ownership. That is something that Dr. Young has stated too. You got to take ownership in what it is that you're wanting to do, what it is that you're desiring to do. Now, when we talk about men, Dr. Young, in this particular article, the men were stating that, yes, they want a virtuous woman. They want a woman that understands who she is. They also want a woman that will be there to support them. They also said that this woman has to have a mindset of family. These are the things that they are searching for women, and this is what they said that this will keep them in the relationship. So I think we often try to make things that are very simple. We try to complicate those things, and that's something that Dr. Young has talked about. You can't do that. It's very, very simple. Men don't want a whole lot. They don't want a whole lot. And this is what we have to do. The one thing for sure is that they want a woman that is very confident. They want a woman that is very sure of herself. And they also want a woman that can bring something to the relationship. They're wanting that form of enhancement, so to speak.
I want women to hear this. You cannot have an external solution to an internal problem.
True.
You can't keep thinking that if I stand with one foot up facing east at 3 o'clock and I point my finger up, you can't do enough. You can't gargle with the blue Listerine enough. You can't go and get some extensions enough. You can't wear some butt pads. And please, y'all need to stop doing that because we can tell they're fake. But you can't do any of that enough to make up for you not being one with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be real. Let's stop and be honest. You're so desperate for love that you on FarmersOnly.com and on Black Planet. Them two things don't even match. You've gotten to a point you don't know when to wear some drawers and when not to. You've gotten to a point that you're sitting up, and it's kind of like the person that gets laid off and they keep waiting on the job to call them back. Go get a different career, child. Go back and get a 2-year certificate. Go get a license, a registration. You might be missing your blessing while you're waiting on your ship to come in. All these boats have passed you by that could have taken you somewhere else. And by boats, I mean new approaches to living your life. But if you continue to listen to these other lonely-ass folk that ain't doing no better than you, if you continue to keep talking about, well, you know the Lord going to send me a man. The Lord ain't sent you nothing. The last one you got, he didn't send it to you. You met him at Kmart. You met him at Walmart. So let's stop and think, what are men really attracted to? And here's what men are really attracted to. Here's number one. Men are attracted to women that aren't needy. Men are attracted to women who aren't emotional and desperate. I know in my life I have dated women that could walk by Aunt Jemima's pancake box and she'd say, baby, here's the syrup. They were that sweet. But the truth of it was that emotional neediness, oh, girlfriend, that ain't cute. Take 2 seats. That doesn't work. Women that are serial daters, you can't ever be by yourself. You go from one man to the next. You go from one dating site to the next. You get to a point where somebody looks up, here you are on Black Planet, Farmers.com. I want to meet a midget. You just doing whatever it takes because you can't stand to be alone with you. And then there's those of you out there that are the opposite. You run into church and bingo. I don't get that. How do church and bingo go together? We'll talk about that later. But you run into church every Sunday. You got a child that now you're trying to institutionalize your damn child, and you done turned your son into a girl, your daughter into a boy, and got these people trying to protect the household, all because you are not in touch with yourself. Or even worse, now you are a bitch at work, and yes, I said the B word, because your job has become your source of validation. People can't even work with you anymore because you're so damn mean because you're not getting none. So you're at work, and you're the first one there, last one to leave, and you think everybody else ain't doing their job right because they're not as crazy as you because they have a life and actually want to go to the movies and get off early and enjoy the weekend. We have to stop this, sisters. We have to become people, human beings. We have to find something in life and stop being so damn religious. Like I told you earlier, Jesus was not a Christian, Buddha was not a Buddhist, and Muhammad was not a Muslim. all of these wonderful beings and people were preaching one message, love. And I know that until you start loving yourself enough, until you stop running around here needy and lonely, until you tell your whack-ass girlfriend, girl, don't call me with no more gossip, and no, I ain't going twerking with you tonight, and sit down and become one with you until you learn how to enjoy your own company. I'm going to just say what I've said in many of my books. If you don't want to be alone with you, why in the hell would I want to be alone with you?
Mm-hmm.
It's time for us, and I'm saying us as men and women, it's time for us to stop thinking that, okay, well, men didn't work. Let me change gender. I'm going to date a woman. Call me to see how that one's going to work. Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to stop dating black men. I'm a black woman. I ain't dating no more black man. Or I'm a white woman. I'm only going to date Hispanic men or white men. Yeah, your crazy ass needs to sit down somewhere and realize that melanin content has nothing to do with character.
Mm-hmm.
Hair texture has nothing to do with a guarantee. And I'm not saying that that's what you're attracted to. That's not cool. I'm saying do you, be you. But at the end of the day, you got to really do the last one. Be you. You can't be all these caricatures and all these versions of yourself. Pick the best one. And the best one is the you that probably ain't perfect. And if people can't love you at your worst, baby, they don't deserve you at your best.
Good information that you have shared tonight, Dr. Young. As we are wrapping up, I always like to leave either with an encouraging word or maybe some advice that we have not given in tonight's conversation. If you wish to contribute, I would love for you to do so at this time.
Yeah, I just have some simple stuff I want to say. The first thing is shows like this are really necessary. My show is going in syndication starting January the 24th, and Kathy B. will actually be a guest on my show, which will air by the end of the year in 40 cities and in 4 countries, right? But the message that Kathy and I both want you to pick up from this, and I'm taking liberty speaking for Kathy because Kathy's over there going, I ain't said I got it. What kind of damn message you finna say I said? But the truth is this. These programs, especially programs like the one this evening, are about you stopping thinking that, if I just do this, everything will be good. If I just step back and I become celibate and I take a course in talking in tongues. Now, I'm being funny because some of y'all go to churches where they probably do have a course like that, and if you do, you need to just get the hell away from them crazy-ass folk. There's no course in talking in tongues. But if I just make a love offering of my first paycheck every month, if you do that, call me. We really need to talk. I'm not going to date men no more. I'm going to try women. Or whatever stupidity you've come up with. I'm not going to shave my pubic hair. I ain't going to wear deodorant. I'm not going to wear makeup. If a man can't love me the way I am, all of that mess is just is bumblebee and a billboard crazy. None of that works. And the only thing that's going to bring you to a place where you are happy in your life is to do these 3 things. 1, operate in your gifts and in your purpose. Lots of you right now have a gift, and you think that it's enough that you have the gift, but you need to go get some piece of paper that confirms that gift, called a diploma, a registration, or a certificate, or a license. Some of you've already done that, but you letting people that you don't even need to be with no more hold you back. You are so scared of change and to be by yourself. You can't stop messing with this dysfunctional-ass man you're dealing with or your crazy-ass family, or you can't just stop and spend time alone getting to know you. Prayer-tation is the highest form of prayer, by the way. The third one is stop expecting something good and wonderful to come your way while you're being mediocre. And by being mediocre, that's when you say something foolish like, well, if you can't accept me the way I am, hell, the last time you sat in my car, the hubcaps popped off. You done got so big. accept you the way you are. You want to fight. I was looking at Sweetie Pies the other night, and this girl, they had a tape. She cussed out everybody, and her thing, I'm from St. Louis. Well, my mama was country as a cat in a damn owl box, but she made something out of herself. Stop letting your condition be your excuse. Let your condition be your inspiration. Because if you find your purpose, if you cut them dysfunctional people around you keep messing with, and you take where you are and turn and head north, meaning head toward the best version of you possible, then that which you seek will find you.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much, Dr. Young, for sharing that valuable information with us. If you will, please share with Source Nation and everyone listening here on Love Zone Monday how we can get more information about you and continue to support the efforts.
Well, a lot of good things are happening. You guys say a prayer right now. I'm going to be doing some pilot on BET. I don't know when or the name of it, but we're in negotiations on that. From what I understand, it's already a done deal, but you never know it's done until they turn the camera on and write you a check. But this is a done deal starting on January the 24th. The Reality Check Doctor, my syndicated program, starts debuting in Houston and will be onboarding in 40 other markets around the country as the year goes on. We're also going to be live streaming that show. So kind of like what you see on Dish Network with Ricky Smiley, or those of you that remember Howard Stern or any of that stuff, my show will be available for you to watch it just like you watch television. And the real cool part about that is between 4 and 6 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, let me be the ride. Let me ride home with you. You can go to any of my social media stuff, which is Dr. D. Yvonne Young, Yvonne spelled like Ivan, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Periscope, and we will be broadcasting live. We'll also be live streaming, and I can't remember the name on all those networks. And then if you're in Houston, KYNDAM and FM will have the show, and we will be on in all of your markets. So definitely that. But if you want to change your life, and I mean, don't be playing about it. You really want to change your life. Do the .org. Go to Dr. D. Yvonne Young. No period after the doctor, just DRDIVANYOUNG.org. My schedule is very tight, but if you're serious, we'll make room for you. You can call us at 877-508-2025. And throughout the year, I will still be frequent guest on Source Network, but Kathy B. will also be on Reality Check with Dr. D on my syndicated show. So,
awesome.
I'm
loving that.
Yeah. And Tracy, Jeff Code, and the whole team. So I'm going to make sure that, let's just all continue to stop settling. It's better for you to be by your damn self than for you to be with the wrong person. Because, see, long as you are with the wrong person, you're making 4 people miserable. You're making you, the person you're with, and the 2 people that God had intended you to both meet miserable.
That's right.
So go ahead and spend some time alone and let go of what you've given yourself so you can fully receive what God has for you. I love you, America.
Amen on that. Love that. Well, Dr. Young, it has been indeed a pleasure having you here in the studio with me tonight, giving us some valuable information on tonight's topic. Do men really want a virtuous woman? So I think that we have learned a great deal. We're looking forward to more exciting conversations with you here on Love Zone Mondays. And I just want to say congratulations. I am so proud of you and all of what you're accomplishing and all that you will do in this new year. Oh, man, I'm just excited for you.
And Kathy, I want y'all to help us. We're going to try to find a more appropriate name for Caitlyn Jenner because like my boy said the other night, I'm down with Mildred or Agnes. He looks more like an Agnes or a Mildred because Caitlyn is for a little cute, fine something. But that man ain't cute and fine. I think I'm rolling with Agnes. Anyway, I love you, America, and there's nothing you can do about it. Talk to you soon, Kathy.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
it's yours.